So this is a Swift Lifestyle 6, just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake will demonstrate to you in person here on site. In the front locker you've got your spare wheel, as you can see there. You just need to release that nut in the centre to be able to release it from the caravan. And on the side here you have your gas bottle, so you need to turn the gas on by turning the valve to the right or turning it to the left to turn the gas off. I'll leave the gas on so when you go into the caravan you can ignite everything as you wish to. The pipe work that goes into the front of the gas bottle is a reverse thread, so it needs to be turned the opposite way to a Coke bottle lid, for instance. So you turn it the opposite way to that. Coming down the side of the caravan is the heating flue. It does very much the same as the flue on the side of your house. And then down below that you have the wind down legs, which you wind down to the ground when the caravan is on site to stabilise the caravan. They'd be wound down, put them all four to the ground, and then you can level the caravan out with these, so you know it is level when you are using the van itself. You then have your water pump connection, which you very simply pull the blue trigger at the bottom here and release from the side of the caravan and push in to lock the pump or the pickup pipe in place. And that needs to be fully submerged in the water in the aqua roll here, which obviously you've got a part of your super startup pack, and we'll grab the accessories once the handover is finished. Then got your battery box. Battery's all connected up. If you ever need to release it, it's a 12mm nut on there, so you need a 12mm spanner to release it. You then have your mains connection, which pushes into the side of the caravan. Pull back the flap and pull it out to release it from the side of the caravan. Then behind there you have your motor mover power switch, which will demonstrate to you in person before you leave site. You've then got your wheels and motor mover. The motor mover will demonstrate, like I said, when you leave, and we'll torque the wheel nuts so you can see they've been tightened correctly. You've then got your waste pipes. So your grey waste comes out the side here, fresh water goes in the front, and the waste water comes out the side of the caravan here. You'll have two bits of grey pipe that go into these larger diameter holes, and they'll drop down inside the waste tank that will sit on the floor down the side of the caravan. At the top here, you've got your toilet flush tanks. This will need 3.5 litres of water in it and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. In the bottom here, you've got your toilet waste cassette. You release it by pulling up the orange handle and pulling the cassette towards you. The orange neck here, you turn out 90 degrees to tip the waste away. The grey cap is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid. And on the back of the cassette, there's an orange button. You push this button in when you're tipping the waste away, so it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. At the back of the caravan, you've got your two wind down legs again to stabilise the van. So there's two on the back and two at either side at the front. I'll show you where the other one is at the front of the caravan in a moment. You've got storage for underneath the bunks at the rear of the caravan, just here. You've got your two fridge vents, and they are simply there to allow the hot air at the back of the fridge unit. You've then got a 3-pin plug so you can have power out to your awning when you're connected to mains power. And then you've got a storage locker for underneath the front seating area and a barbecue gas point just here. Then down the bottom you've got the last wind down leg to stabilise the caravan while it's on site. Coming on to the inside of the caravan now. As you can see, we're now on the inside of the caravan. Above the door, when you come into the van, if you look up and above your head, there is the main control panel. So you need to turn the power on here. You've got an indicator here to say that you've got mains power coming from the supply on site to the caravan. And then if you connect it to the car, you'll have an orange dot on the car and a green dot on the caravan to say that everything is connected. This will only work if you have the correct connection on the back of your car. If you have got the correct connection, then it should also charge the battery on board the caravan, and you'll also be able to use the fridge as a cool box. So you can see the battery leisure battery voltage. You can press the leisure battery button here in the center, and it will bring up the levels for the battery. And if you connect it to the car, you'll be able to press the vehicle battery button, and it will tell you how much power it's putting from the car to the caravan. You've got your water pump run here, which I'll come back to in a moment, and you've got your view levels button, which will light up either of these on this side, depending on which side you are connected to. The first thing you're going to need to do with the caravan is open all the taps up on the hot side of the water system. You will notice I've already filled the system up, but that's that drain off for a second, just so I haven't got the pump turned on. You'll then come underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the caravan. And underneath here, you'll actually find the yellow valve to fill the water system up. So what you're going to need to do is to fill the system, you're going to put your hand down here, lift this valve upright to drain the water system down, and have it flat with the floor to fill the system up. So that yellow valve there, with the position it's in at the moment, you can fill the water system up. And when you want to drain the water system down, you'll pull that valve up so it's pointing up towards the bottom of the seat. Once you've got that yellow valve shut and you've got all of the taps open on the hot side of the water system, you can then start filling the water system on board the caravan. Just before we do that, I'm just going to show you some other bits that are in this cabinet. On the door here, you've got a list of what all the 12 volt fuses are for. Some you'll notice say motorhome next to them, so they're irrelevant to this system. And then you've got 230 volt system, which is your mains power on board the caravan. In the top of this cabinet, should just explain that list of 230 volt is for the trip switches, which are just underneath here. If you're on site and you connect it to power and you don't know if you've got mains coming into the van, hit the test switch here. This switch drops down, it means there is mains power coming into the caravan from the site you're on. Underneath the left hand side here, you've got your 12 volt fuses. And you've got your your master shutdown for the caravan, so you can hit this button and when it pops up it means all of the power inside of the caravan will be turned off. And then on the other side you have your reverse polarity for when you're in some European countries, charger which needs to be on at all times and lit up green, heating and hot water system needs to be on at all times. You can press it and it will turn off, the same as with the charger. And you've got a spare fuse on the end here for basically for motorhome accessories which you haven't got on board the caravan. So now we've shown you that, we can start filling the system up. So we've got the tap open on the hot side of the system. Now when you first turn on the water pump, you will notice it spits and splatters out the tap. So turn the pump on, water system starts running. Then once the system is completely full, you'll have water running out of every tap continuously on board the caravan. Once every tap is got water running out of it, you can shut all of the taps back off. The water pump will run for a few seconds underneath the seat and then turn back off. And that will mean the system is repressurized, ready for when you're next using the water system. So like I said, taps all the way open, yellow valve shut underneath the seat and water pump turned on. You need to make sure before you do any of this that the water pump connection on the outside is inside the barrel and fully submerged in water. If you run out of water on board the caravan and you haven't filled the ACK roll up prior to it running out, you'll need to bleed the system again. So you'll need to open all the taps up on the hot side and then go through the same procedure again until you got water running out of every tap continuously. Once you've done that, you can actually then start thinking about warming the water on board the caravan. So with this control panel to the left hand side of the master one above the door, I'm just going to turn this off. And now you need to follow this procedure every time before you turn off the main control panel here. So press the central button here at the bottom and it will come up with off on the screen. Once that goes out, the control panel has turned off, and then you could turn off the control panel on this side or the power underneath the seat on the front right hand side. Just wait for this to clear off the screen, then we'll restart it. So now the screen has gone blank, we can turn the heating and hot water system back on. Like I said, you need to make sure this screen looks like this before you turn off the control panel here or turn the power off underneath this seat on the right hand side. So to turn the control panel on, hit the central button and the control panel will come back on. The first icon you see flashing here is your heating for the caravan. So we'll hit the central button when it's flashing, and then you can spin the dial either left or right to control the temperature of the heating. We're going to set it at 30 degrees for now, so we're going to set that. And that is the heating set. And when it's warming up, you'll see the gas icon or the flame symbol here at the top flashing away. If you want to turn on your hot water, you spin the dial to the right. When you've got these icons flashing, hit the central button again, then you can select either Eco, Hot or Boost. The Boost is when you're showering on board the caravan. So we'll turn that on for a little while so that when you come into the caravan, you can see the water is warming up. It will take a few minutes, obviously, for that to work. When we're back on this home screen again, we're going to go across to the right again, and then you've got your option for the amount of power or the sort of power source you want to use. Hit the central button, and the first option you have here is gas. Mix 1, which is a combination of gas and electric at the same time, 1000 watts. Mix 2 is a combination of gas and electric and 2000 watts of power at the same time. Electric 1 is 1000 watts of power, and electric 2 is 2000 watts of power on its own. The same with the electric 1, that is the single power source. So we're going to set it to electric 2 for now. Once you've got this set, if it fails to come on for any reason and you haven't got mains power coming to the van, you'll notice a triangle appears here at the bottom of the screen to let you know it has not come on that particular power source. If it's the gas one, then it will come up with the triangle at the bottom and it will come up with an error code on the screen, which just simply means there is no gas through the system. And if it does do this, we advise you ignite the hob first, then reignite the gas system for the heating and hot water. The last symbol I'm going to take you through on this screen, I'll explain why I'm taking you through these in a moment at the bottom, but it is the blown air heating. So we hit the central button here again, and you've got eco, high or boost for the fan system on board the caravan, and that's a bit like the fans you have in your car when you are travelling down the road. Down the bottom of the screen here, you've got some advanced settings. The first one here is a timer for your heating and hot water. The second one is to set the time on the control panel here. And the third one is the advanced options, basically for the engineers. If you do want to learn more about these three options at the bottom, we do advise you read the manual that is in the box at the front of the caravan, just there. So that is your heating and hot water system. The next thing we're going to demonstrate is the fridge. To turn the fridge on, you're going to press the power button on the left-hand side here. Press and hold the power button, and the fridge will come on. Green light indicates we've got mains power coming to the caravan, and the plug symbol here again indicates, with it being green, that the mains power is working. To change the power source, you're going to press and hold the grey button in the centre on just here, and then you're going to use the arrows to go right or left depending on what power source you want to use. So you've got gas. If we hit the gas option, and then it will start flashing the temperature control, so you can set that on the arrows again, left or right. The more amount of blocks you have lit up here, the colder the fridge will be. To set it, hit the grey button and the fridge will start igniting on gas. If it fails to ignite on gas, the fridge will start flashing the symbol here, and it will also bring up a red light just here at the top. You will hear a clicking noise, and when it ignites, the clicking will stop and the fridge will be ignited. The next power source we have, press and hold the grey button, come across to the 12 volt battery symbol. That is the 12 volt supply from the car you are towing with, and to set that, hit the central button. The temperature control won't do anything because it is just a cool box. Hit the grey button again, and that will be the temperature set, and it running on 12 volt. As you can see at the moment, it is flashing red because we have no car connected to the caravan. It does not work off the 12 volt supply on board the caravan, the same as any other caravan. Press and hold the grey button, and then we can come across to our 240 mode. Hit the grey button again, set your temperature with the arrows as we said before, and then hit the grey button, and that will set the fridge to work on 240 mains. Microwave works very much like your household microwave. There will be some instructions for that in the box at the front there. Grill, hob and oven, again, all work very much like your household appliances. No difference at all there, with the igniter on the front here, as you can see. And just to show you that it's working, just going to ignite the hob up just very quickly. There we go. Everything working as it should on the hob. Same with the grill, just going to ignite that to show you it's all working. There we go, that's your grill lit up. And again, the same with the oven. At the bottom there. So that is all working as it should. Bed at the front of the caravan. You pull out the rail here to set it up. So you pull that all the way out to the end here. And there'll be two stops just there, which you lift that bigger part over and into here. Into this gap. And then the cushions come down from either side to make, the cushions come down to make the bed up. The bed here you'll drop the table down into this gap onto this rail just here at the bottom to sit that in place. And then the 2 beds at the rear are already made, as you're fully aware. The bathroom, the last thing we go through is the toilet system. You have an electric flush here, so you flush the toilet with a button on top. You have a toilet full indicator light that illuminates red when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat itself does turn for your convenience. You can actually spin this part of the toilet round. However, when you are emptying the toilet waste cassette, the toilet seat needs to be in the position here so it's pointing straight on, as it is now. Then below the toilet, you've got your waste handle. So you need to push this across to the right as you look at the front of the toilet when you're using it. And then when you're not using the toilet, it needs to be back in this central position. You will also need to make sure this is back in this central position when you're removing the toilet waste cassette from the side of the caravan, as if you don't, it will break the mechanisms on top of the toilet. Shower works very much the same as your household shower, and you have got the light on in the top there, which you can turn on with the switch just down the side here. There we go, and it also puts the lights on in the bathroom. So that is the Swift Lifestyle 6. If you have any problems with the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'd be more than happy to help. We appreciate your business, and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon again. Thanks for now. Bye-bye.